Hello, welcome back to Justin Talks Villa, and I am just jumping on to do a quick episode on a few little bits and bobs that are happening around the stadium over the next few months. The development work is starting to take pace. If you're new around here, subscribe to the channel, drop the video a like, and get involved in the comments section. So I was made aware of this last night that there is going to be some works starting either side of the Holte End. So I'll show you some pictures in a minute, but this is an interesting information to start with. So if we see here, if we see sort of go past the introduction bit, works are planned to take place on the site between the hours of, right, then this is the interesting bit, due to the fast-paced nature of the works to have all areas complete by the start of next season, the proposed work site. So this is all about timings and work sites. Now, if we look at the schedule of works, so from the 1st of the 3rd, so that's the 1st of March, it's going to be started, and it's going to be ended and commissioned by the 28th of August. So they are trying to get this done. What's that? March, April, May, June, July, August. 5 months to get all this work done. Very, very interesting. And what work is it, I hear you ask? Well, this is what work it is. Let's go over to this screen. So if we start with this one, so here we have a top shot of the, you can all know what that is, the Holte End. Okay, so that is the Holte End. Now the works are going to be planned around these red areas here, as you can see here and here, and the left hand side here. Now currently, if I show you the current Aston Villa side, so that is the current to the right hand side looking directly at the Holte End, and we've got these corporate areas here, 2, 3 balconied areas, internal areas. I think the top one's the oak room, I think it is. Anyway, the 3 corporate areas there, and you've got a small balcony on each where people sit. To the left of that is all this area here, which is absolutely dead space. Let's try and get a different color so you can see. So this is all dead space. We've got the screen, obviously. So there's just nothing happening there. So what is the plan on that side? The plan is to go from this to this. Much, much better. So they are planning on going, I'm going to say almost doubling it to the left-hand side with 3 or 4 extra rows of seats here, here, and here. Looks like they're going to deepen the bottom row as well and get rid of the scoreboard screen on the left-hand side of that area. Great. All additional seats, maybe an extra 1,000. I don't know. I'd have to look into it, but maybe 1,000, 2,000 extra seats there, which all helps nudge that capacity ever upwards, which is the plan obviously going forward. So this is excellent news. So it's going to be this area here basically which is added on, and it looks like, if we go back to the picture in a minute, that there's going to be a bit of a extension on the front of this bottom tier here, because at the moment there's two rows here on the top, there's 2 rows here on this one, and I think there's 2 rows here on this one. So if we go back and have a look at this one, yeah, as you can see, it's very, very shallow. That area is there, and you've got all this area underneath. So if we go back up to what this is planned to be, it's going to basically come right far out. So it's going to add a lot more capacity into that corner. Yes, there probably will be corporate seats, but it's making better use of currently a dead area, which isn't being used at all. So it makes sense. Now, if we go over to the other side of the Holte End, which is the left-hand side, I'm pretty sure in saying, I might be wrong, comment if I'm wrong, this is the police communications box where the police have got all the cameras and bits and bobs, and they do a lot of work looking around the ground, keeping us all safe on a match day. This is all coming down, and what is being replaced on this side, I think, is even more exciting. It is a brand new disabled viewing area, which is high up, which will be absolutely brilliant. This is this area here, and then above it is going to be a huge, brand new, massive LED screen scoreboard, which is going to obviously replace what's on the other side of the Holte End to the right side of the Holte End, from the left to the right. So we're going to add lots more disabled viewing accesses and a huge brand new scoreboard. I personally think, if you look at what it currently is now, that's going to be great. So we're going to have effectively this here down to here is going to be all extra seating. So these 3 areas here, which are only 2 rows of seating, are going to be extended. There's going to be more here, and more here. And then this side, this is coming down. We're having a brand spanking new scoreboard screen here, and then this area underneath it here is going to be all disabled viewing area. As I say, I think that's a great addition to it. So we'll just have a quick look at that again. That's the aerial view. This is where we're going to end up, which is great. This is the other side, which is going to disappear. This is that side, which is going to disappear, obviously. And then we're going to end up with that on the other side as well. Like I say, I think this is a great plan. And the plan works from 1st of March through to the 28th of August. Fantastic. And I think they're going to try and bang it out as quick as they can and just add value, add revenue. I'm fed up of talking about revenue, but that's what it will do. It will add revenue as well. So it's great news. And it looks like plans to keep regenerating and improving the stadium are at full force. Right. What is important as well? North Stand redevelopment. I firmly believe that will also kickstart as soon as the season ends. I think there is talk. There has been sort of muted discussions. I don't really know, but a lot of things I'm hearing on social media mainly is that the works have been put off to start as soon as the season ends. I don't know what that means for the redevelopment. The initial plan of the redevelopment was to build around the North Stand. I do wonder now whether that's going to be stopped and it's going to be just a knockdown and rebuild job. It's a huge job. I don't know, but I think we will know more towards the end of the season. It's going to be either built around it or knocked down and restarted. Obviously, if it's knocked down, we're going to be without it for a season, which in the short term is a bit of a blow, especially if we get Champions League. But in the long term, it will be a quicker build. And I think overall, as long as they can rehouse the season ticket holders in the rest of the stadium, then we've just got to lump it. We want a bigger stadium. We want a better stadium. That Holte End, the North Stand is going to be incredible when it's done. So let's just either rip the sticking plaster off, get it down and get a new one up, or a long-term, more prolonged project of building around the current structure. I don't know. I don't know what's better, but we will see. Right, let's go back to this again, because this is the other interesting piece of information which I've been sitting on for a little while now, and I just need to find more information out. Right, this is what I've been doing. I'm going to bring myself a bit bigger. So these are redevelopment works. This is all the information which is publicly available information as to this area, which I'm going to show you now, but it's so difficult to get into it and know exactly what's going on. So I'll try my best to explain what I mean. So here we have got let's see if I can no, I won't do that. Right, here we have got Villa Park is here. Okay, if I can find it. Right, yes, sorry. Villa Park is here. Let's get the pen on. Right, Villa Park is here for the 3rd time. This is Villa Park. We're all very, very aware of the footprint of Villa Park. These are the houses which sit opposite the Doug Ellis stand. Okay. My drawing is horrific. This is the train track which runs all the way through here. Now, there are 2 areas here, one in the orange and one in the blue. The orange, I believe Villa own this land. Okay, and this is the other side of the train track. It's quite a huge, significant area, right? And now I don't know what this area could be used for. I believe potentially it can only have houses built on it. And this is just my total surmising. I have no idea about this, but there does seem to be a lot of land that's potentially could be owned by Villa and is owned by Villa. We've got this other area here, which is the other side of the train tracks, either side as well, which runs alongside where the Villa Chippy is and all the way where the majestic building currently is the wine place, the wedding venue. So these are all areas here, not this area here. These are residential areas. Let's take these off. So I'll start again because I think I've made a pig's ear of that. So Villa Park is here, okay, and we've got potential Villa-owned areas here, and here, and here, and over here. Now, what would this mean for a potential redevelopment going forward? I don't know. We all know we want a bigger stadium, and we all know that maybe the only other stand, once the North stand is done to redevelop, is the Doug Ellis stand. That would mean infringing on the road that runs along behind it and potentially the houses that run behind that. Could this area here be redeveloped into housing to rehouse the people that live here? I say that glibly and lightly, like it's not a huge thing. People wouldn't want to move out the houses. I wouldn't want to be pushed out of my house, but this is a potential possibility, or I don't know. But you know, again, with the redevelopment of the train station here, then they will have a brand new, because this is the warehouse here, as we can see, and the club shop here. So we know that there's a potential having this is the Inner City Academy, which Villa own already, of having a walkway through all the way through to here, to this area here. Now Villa own, potentially we could own, let's take all this off again. If they own all of this land, right? This is what I'm saying. Then Villa will own this. Okay. Now, this is what I'm saying about potentially huge news. This could be, if Villa get it, the size of the plots that Villa, oh, sorry, no, we're down here, aren't we? That Villa would then own. That is a huge, huge area. I don't think you could probably build a brand new stadium here. I mean, the footprint size is definitely big enough, but I'm not sure that is even a possibility. Who knows? I've no idea. I'm just throwing this out there. If anybody knows any more information, please let me know, or can shed any more light on this. It's very interesting. It's all publicly available, as I say. But I think with the redevelopment of the North Stand and what they're trying to do in the stadium, owning all this land here could be absolutely huge for Aston Villa over the next 5 or 10 years, if their desire is to redevelop even further, to go up to 60, even 70,000. I don't know. I'm just putting it out there. Let's see what happens. Right, I'm going to finish off with the final bit of drone footage of right, let's get this back on stage. If it works. Right, here we go. Here we go. So this is a bit of drone footage I did the other day to finally show you the last bit of the warehouse. As you can see, I'll pause it there. This is all now sorted. All this area here is properly developed now. And as you know, on a match day, this is quite heavily populated. And hopefully going forward, once the back of the warehouse is finished, then it could be absolutely fantastic, especially in the summer. I think it will be a really, really great place to be. Why isn't that playing now? Let's start again. I've no idea why that's not playing. This is really bad. Let me just pause it. Right, I don't know what happened then, but we are now up and running. We have got it working. So let me try and make myself a bit bigger. Ah, right, there you go. That's a bit bigger, isn't it? So, as I said, we have got all this now finished. We're going to budget along a little bit because that's it. So all this bit now is finished at the front, and it's really great for a match day. And as you can see, 99% now of the exterior is finished. and completed. The roof's all done. It's just a matter of finishing the internals now. I believe by the end of February, they are hoping to have the inside of the main hall all finished and ready to go, which will be great because it'll hold up to 3,000 people in there. So on a match day, pre and post match, especially if there's an early kickoff and a late kickoff and there's loads of big screens in there, it will be absolutely magnificent to be in there. You can get there early, have a couple of drinks, bit of food, watch the game. I think there'll be lots of benches and available seating in there as well, which would be great. And I think it'd be a really good space. I do genuinely think it'll be a really good space. And something to note as we move through the video a little bit further is what I was mentioning a minute ago about all the potential land purchases going on around Villa Park and the potential ownership of that land by Aston Villa and what it could mean going forward. It could be nothing. It could just be that Villa are buying land to make money on and it's an investment. I've no idea, but it's just very, very interesting to know what potential could happen over the next few years. So this is the other end of it now. This is a huge area here, which is currently a compound for all the workmen. So that could be opened up to, I imagine, car parking or, I don't know, anything that could use it. They do tend to use a lot of this land really well now, which was just dead land before, which is great now that we've got owners that can actually see the future. And with the other owners of Aston Villa now, Atrios, who are massive in building and developing and structural stuff, then it's huge to have them on board and allowing us to hopefully make the most of the areas we've got. So as you can see now, as we just zoom up a little bit, probably come back a touch there. So that area there at the top is where the island is, and that's the Tesco. So this area here on the right-hand side, right at the top, is all this land here we could potentially buy and use. So that would be very, very interesting. And then as we come round here, we will see the inner city building there of Villa. Now that road there is potentially, so there's all these flats here. The Villa chip is down here as well. So if Villa bought all this land here as well, then they would have a lot of this here. This is the potential walkway from the new train station, which could be here at the bottom of this road here as well. So that's a lot more to be looking at. And then the other piece, which I alluded to earlier, if you look at where the pitches are, they're on the left-hand side towards the top, then just to the right-hand side of that, all that area there on the right-hand side is also potential areas for Villa to be buying. And as you can see, behind the Doug Ellis stand, we've got the housing and this park area here, which, you know, that park area might become hugely significant as well. If we could maybe get that and not even infringe on those houses, that could be very useful in developing maybe another tier on top of the Doug Ellis, and then we could maybe put some inner city park area on the left-hand side there, so people that live in the area don't lose that already. There's lots and lots of interesting parts to be looking at over the next few years on how Villa are going to redevelop it, and we're going to do one final look at the north stand because it's not going to be there for much longer now. It's going to be gone within 12 months, I would imagine. The oldest stand left at Villa now, and definitely the most in need of redevelopment. It is happening, and God almighty, it's going to be absolutely glorious when it's done. Okay, I'm going to stop rabbiting on now. I hope you enjoyed that. It's been interesting to look at all these kind of bits and bobs that are going on around Villa. If you know anything about this, or if you think I've got something wrong, please feel free to message in the comment section below. If you want anything to add, then brilliant. I'm all up for it. But yeah, I'm just putting it out there because I think it's interesting, and over the next few years, what's going to happen around Villa Park. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. There are memberships available. Like and subscribe and get involved in the comment section. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll speak to you all soon. Up the Villa!